Hi, this is Danny Ryan from ThreeWill, and we're here for the ThreeWill podcast. And today we've got an important subject that we're covering. I'm here with Bruce Harple. He's our VP of Delivery. Thanks for joining me, Bruce.
Absolutely, Danny. Glad to be here.
Great. And we've got a very important subject that we wanted to cover today, and that is recruiting. Why is it important to you? Why is it important to us here at ThreeWill?
Yeah, I think everybody knows recruiting is important. And obviously for us being a small consulting firm, it even becomes even more consultant. We're big believers in that principle of hire slow, fire fast, and hopefully we're just hiring slow and not firing fast at all. But for us, and what we do, every single one of our consultants, we put them out in front of customers. Those customers see those people each week. We follow an agile Scrum process, so we have customer commitments to meet every 2 weeks, and we can't afford to have a bad hire that impacts those customer commitments, and the customer sees that. So we take it very, very seriously, and it's important to us to get the right people in here.
I think I'm the only person who's hidden in the back room for us, I guess. Tommy keeps me away from other people, just to keep things on the up and up. So great. Tell me a little bit more about sort of what the whole process is for recruiting, or let's start to get into some of the way that we recruit.
Yeah, and so one of the things, just to kind of set the framework for us, is maybe just talk about kind of what's important to ThreeWill when we look to hire people. And one of the first things that we want to look at and try to get a sense for is what I'll call just consulting and communication skills. What's that person's customer presence going to be like? Mm-hmm. Again, I said, every ThreeWill consultant, we put them out in front of customers. They're interacting with those customers each week as we are working on new features and delivering functionality. So, those consulting skills, those customer interaction skills, are critical to us. Another thing is, at ThreeWill, we're big believers in people being passionate about what they're doing every day. We want people to really enjoy what they're doing. When they come in, they're passionate about delivering solutions to our customers, making our customers happy, making them successful. So, we also look at what are a candidate's passions. What is it that gets them excited to get out of bed every day? Because that's important to us. We really want to match their passions to what we do and how we deliver to customers.
That whole mentality very much ties into even our name. I mean, ThreeWill is just we wanted this to be a place where people were passionate, loved what they did, and were excited about coming in each day. So that's very important, I know, to Tommy and I.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then just kind of talking about ThreeWill and the name of the company and what it means. The other thing that's important to us is just overall culture fit. At ThreeWill, some of the attributes that we look for is, we're looking for humble individuals, low ego individuals. Mm-hmm. We're looking for people that are serving. We truly believe that we are servants to our customers and that we're servants to one another. And, we're looking for people that have that servant kind of attitude and desire, that they really want to serve their customers, serve their team. And, I think just obviously the collaborative aspect of, what we do, working in an agile Scrum environment where it's a rapid delivery environment, you've got to be able to work well together. You got to be able to come in and work as part of a team, and also raise your hand, when you're struggling and need help from the team. So
it's sometimes so difficult to find those type of people who have the right mix of being really technically competent, but then along the same lines are willing to be open with other people, to not seem like they're the smartest person in the room and putting everybody else down. Really to find those people who take their egos out of the whole situation. I think it's something that's unique that we really try to look for. We try to look for those people who are putting together great solutions to the problem, but yet at the same time they really have a servant type of attitude. They take themselves out of it. They're really just they've got what we call humble confidence, and it's a unique thing that we really try to focus in on.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, if you think about ThreeWill and what we do, I mean, we are a technology consulting company. So obviously, technology skills are important, mm-hmm. and we work on the Microsoft platform, and so we're going to obviously look for those skills. But when we interview candidates and we bring them through our recruitment process, we're certainly going to assess those skills. but it's really those other softer skills, around consulting skills, customer interaction, kind of the culture fit. Those things are, probably even weighed more heavily than the technology skills, because we know that we can bring people in with good, sound consulting skills, and we can help them grow and learn and grow those skills. So, very much fits right into our culture and kind of what ThreeWill stands for.
So tell me about some of the process here with sort of what does it look like when somebody's interviewing at ThreeWill? Just talk me through all of that.
Yeah, and so we do probably what a lot of people do. We have initial phone screens where we kind of qualify candidates, and there might be a couple levels of those before we decide to bring somebody in. But the one part of our process that I really want to speak to and talk about is something we call a dev challenge or development challenge. And we also have a QA challenge and a Scrum Master challenge as well. So depending on the role somebody might be coming in to interview for, we put them through that challenge. And so what we do, and I'll talk about the dev challenge because it applies to most of the people on our team.
Yeah.
So what we do with a candidate is we give them a couple usage scenarios or use cases. And we ask them to essentially, outside of ThreeWill, kind of on their own, to actually build a solution that solves that usage scenario or meets that usage scenario.
What's a typical, just give me an example of one of these usage scenarios. Is there a typical one, or you come up with a different one each time?
We actually give them a choice of a couple different usage scenarios. One might be, pulling in an activity stream.
Okay.
From a LinkedIn, something like that.
Okay.
Or Twitter.
Okay.
Right. So, it really forces them to go out and do some research about the APIs, within, a LinkedIn, within a Twitter, and it forces them to present that feed, right, in a user experience in a way that's consumable and plays well.
Gotcha.
So, that might be one example of what we do. So it's really. It's going to get them into Visual Studio. They're going to have to write some code.
Okay.
They're going to have to do some research. So they have to kind of build a miniature solution, and we do it in a way that it's not something they have to spend days on.
Yeah.
Outside of ThreeWill, it's something they can get done in a reasonable amount of time.
So they're spending 4 to 5 hours doing this, or is there a typical amount of time that people are doing?
I would say they probably spend 4 to 6 hours on it.
4 to 6 hours.
Yeah. Some will spend longer just because they have that passion to create the perfect solution, and others won't. So it varies a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so what that allows us to do, so what we do is the candidate, they develop their solution, and they actually come in and present the solution to us. So what it enables us to do, all those attributes I kind of talked about earlier, I mean, it really enables us to see, how does this person think? How do they solve the problem? Because we give them a pretty high-level set of problems they can pick from.
Yeah. And
we don't give them a lot of requirements. So we kind of get to see how they think. We get to see, do they come back and clarify requirements with us? Do they ask questions to kind of, narrow the scope of the solution? We actually get to see, when they come back in and present, we have them, show us the solution, obviously, and do kind of a demo. So in a way, they're actually coming in and doing a sprint review with us. They're actually presenting what they accomplished in their sprint.
Okay.
And walking through that solution, which is great. But we also, it gives us a chance to see how they structure their code. So how do they organize their code? Is it organized in a structured way? Did they comment their code? So it really gives us a chance to see how do they organize themselves and how do they pull all that content together.
But you don't do a retrospect. You don't go, you could have done this better, or what can you do better next time you interview at ThreeWill?
Yeah, and that's a great point, Danny, because one of the things that we're always clear with everybody is, there is no right answer, right? And we all know that. When you're building solutions for a customer, a custom solution, there's more than one way to deliver that solution. And so we're always real clear that there's no right answer. We're just trying to get a sense for how you think, how you go after a problem, how you structure your code. And we really get a chance to see as they're doing this, I talked about how important those consulting skills are and customer presence. And so they present to us. We get to see, how they can present, how do they communicate with us, how do they do in front of a small group of people, how do they respond to questions and things that we might challenge them with. So it really is a great way for us to see how they solve a problem, how do they attack it, how do they present it to us, because that's what we do. That's our job. That's what we do day in and day out with customers. So it really is a good way to represent the reality of what we do and to see how somebody kind of reacts and performs in that scenario.
So are they? What part of this recruiting process are they interviewing us? Are they trying to find what we're like? Is it through this sort of this Q&A? Is it through the Dev Challenge? Or how does a typical person find out more about ThreeWill?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, Danny. I mean they're learning more about ThreeWill, each time they touch somebody.
Yeah.
So even in initial phone screens, we begin to kind of give them a sense for who ThreeWill is. I mean, some of it is too. We're also looking to see, are the candidates, are they going out to our website? What are they learning about us in advance and trying to understand what initiatives are they taking to learn more about us. But then too, when they come in to do the Dev Challenge and present their solution, it gives them a chance to meet a team.
Yeah.
And they get to meet, a Scrum Master. They get to meet an architect. They get to meet a consultant. So it lets them kind of ask questions about, how do we staff projects? How do we deliver projects?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the challenges that our teams face? And how do the guys overcome those challenges?
And
so
every once in a while they'll bring them back to my room and say, point at me and say, look at Danny. And they say, he's doing something. I think
we're not sure what he's doing.
We're not sure what he's doing. He's every once in a while he's trying to do a podcast. We just don't know, but he is.
But it's interesting too. I think initially, I mean, some candidates get put off by that, by us asking them to do this.
Yeah.
But usually the ones that go through it actually really appreciate what we had them do, because every one of them tends to learn something.
Yeah.
And that's key, because that's kind of what we're all about. We're a learning organization, and I think the successful candidates are the ones that do find enjoyment in doing it, do learn something from it, and actually appreciate the process.
Yeah, I think that brings out, I mean, really, you have to want to work. There has to be a reason for you to spend that 4 to 6 hours.
Right. It's an investment.
So it really is an investment, and a part of it, some people love to spend, they think of that as a fun time putting together a solution. Some people would see it, it's a test or something, and they, those folks probably wouldn't flourish in this environment.
Absolutely.
So, yep. So we're wanted to maybe ask a self-serving question right now. I know we could go off in a lot of different directions, but what are you? I know Pete helps out with the recruiting. You're very involved in the recruiting. What do we right now, as it stands? We're in the fourth quarter of 2015. What type of people are you guys looking for? I know we're growing. We don't have enough people for projects. So what are you looking for at this snapshot in time?
I mean, we're looking for both associate and senior level consultants.
Okay.
And these are really developers, people that have developed and have experience on the Microsoft platform.
Okay.
.NET, Azure, Office 365, and I also have SharePoint experience. Ideally, not required, but it's really that experience on the Microsoft platform. That's the technology platform, as we deliver on, as well as Salesforce, the Force.com or Cloud App platform. So we're definitely looking for at least 2 new consultants, and we're also looking for Scrum Masters.
Okay.
So people that can come in and help us manage our projects and deliver our projects to our customers.
Awesome. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I know this is a really important subject, and I appreciate you doing this. If you could stick around, I want to talk a little bit about estimating projects, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.